what to expect. We're going to give him his oral meds for tonight. We're going to show you how to flush his IV catheter. And then we're going to show you how the ins and outs of the tube feeding, okay? So he's already will have had all of his oral meds tonight, so you don't need to give him anything by mouth tonight. So I'm going to shove these down, and he's been really good about just shoving them down. On your sheets, your treatment sheets here, I have marked which medications go in the mouth and which ones go in the tube. So there's only one in the tube, and then the rest of them are basically shoved downs in the mouth, okay? And then we always offer him water after his oral meds to wash it down, okay? All right, big guy, come here. Come here.
He's probably used to that by now.
He's been a very good boy. You want some water? Here, honey. All right, you want that? You're not going to drink for me. We'll flush it through the tube now, but he's been drinking pretty well all day.
Good.
So, sorry right now. Okay. All right, big guy. So he has an IV catheter in here in his foot. It's wrapped up in this vet wrap to protect it. And basically all we're going to be doing is using this yellow port right here to flush. So there's a white clamp. When this is down in the narrow end, it's clamped off. And when it's up in the upper end, then you can flush fluid through. So to flush it, you're going to pull it out of the wrap, pull the clamp up to the top so that it's up to the big side and this floats freely. And then you're going to have, there's several small syringes that have needles on them. This is flush for his IV catheter. So you're going to take the needle off. You're going to take this yellow cap off, attach the syringe, and then you're going to flush 2 mLs or so. So I went from the 6 to the 4. So you can get, several flushes out of a syringe. Put the cap back on, clamp it back off, and then you can tuck this back up underneath the wrap so it doesn't hang. Okay? So we're going to do that 3 times a day. It doesn't matter if it's consistent as long as we're getting a good flush every couple of hours. The other thing you're looking for is if this paw starts to swell or this area starts to swell around the bandage, then you would need to call us or the emergency clinic, let us know. Okay? All right. So as far as the feeding tube goes, the feeding tube is a tube that goes only to about halfway down his chest. So it's in his esophagus. It doesn't go all the way to his stomach. It's really narrow, so it only can feed liquid medications through it, liquid foods. And it's attached in several places on his nose and then bandaged around his neck. There's 2 openings to the tube. One is the clear plastic, and that is for water. And then the blue one is got a bigger opening, and so when you open it, you can flip the blue around, stick it back in, and your bigger syringe can fit right in the top for food. Okay, so you want food in the clear, or sorry, water in the clear one, food in the blue one. Okay, and then you want to make sure you only have 1 open at a time. Okay. So what you're going to do tonight is we're going to flush the tube with water right now. And then you're going to do 2 feedings tonight of partial feedings, just a little bit to introduce his system to it. And I have that written down for you. And that's going to be only of the Ensure tonight. Okay. So in the food tonight, you'll use the blue tube, but tonight you're right here, we're going to use the clear. And basically you attach your syringe and then you gently start injecting. And you want to go, this is 30 mLs of water, so you want to inject that over a minute or so, 30 seconds to a minute. So you don't want to go too fast. If at any point he starts retching or gagging, drooling profusely, acting uncomfortable, you would stop and close the tube and wait until the next feeding. But as long as he's comfortable, this will drain into his stomach. Good boy. There's the water. Good job, Rennie. All right, and then we replace the top. Okay, so this is his box of goodies. So There's 3 sheets of paper. Basically, there are treatment sheets that we use in hospital, but I figured it was easier for you guys to just check off the bubbles. So there's 1 for tonight, 1 for tomorrow, and then 1 for Sunday. Basically, the rule with the tube is water first, then food, and then always water afterwards to flush it out. So we don't want to let that food harden in the tube. So 30 mLs of water, then you're feeding, and then 30 mLs of water. Okay? The feedings that you're going to do, so tonight you're going to do Ensure only. So you're going to do, and it's written on here for you, you're going to do 80 mLs of the Ensure only. So that's these blue bottles. That means that there are in here, there are 2 syringes that have bigger caps. These are for food. So one holds 60, and so you draw 60 up in one, or 40 up in one, and then 40 up in the other, okay? So that would be for your food. So you're gonna do that twice tonight. You're gonna do that at 8 o'clock and at 10 o'clock. So 30 mLs of water, 80 mLs of food, and then 30 mLs of water to follow. There are also 2 syringes in here that have the smaller caps, and those are for water, okay? All right. So tomorrow, we're going to then mix 2 different types of food to get a better mixture. So this food is made for people, obviously. It's really low protein, but also really low fat. This food is made for dogs. It's really high protein, but also high fat. And so we don't want a lot of fat right now because he has pancreatitis. So mixing them together gives us a moderate fat mixture. So you're gonna mix, it's really easy. 1 can of this and 1 can of that mixed together will get you about 1.5 feedings, okay? You can mix it and put it in a Tupperware and put it in the fridge in between feedings, but it does need to come to room temperature before you put it in the tube, okay? We don't want it to be cold going in. So tomorrow, and the same on Sunday, you're gonna have 6 feedings per day, basically spread out through the waking hours. So we don't need to get up in the middle of the night to feed him. You're gonna feed 170 mLs of food. So that equates to about a 2/3 of a mixture per feeding. So you'll have enough to go, I think most of the way through Sunday. There may be a feeding Sunday night where you'll have to just feed all of this because I think we'll run out. We only have 4 of these cans. Okay. Medication schedule is written here. Basically, he needs to get a medicine called sucralfate, and that is the liquid that's in here somewhere. This one, the pink one. This is the only other medicine that goes through the feeding tube. And this is a coating medicine to help solve ulcers or irritation, also treat the regurgitation that he was experiencing. So this is the syringe for the sucralfate. You're going to give 5 mLs through the food portion through the water portion of the tube, and then follow it with water just like you would normally, okay? And then an hour or 2 hours later, you're gonna give him all of his oral meds. They're all written here, they're in the bag, they're labeled for you. And you're just basically gonna shove them down and offer him oral water like we did tonight, okay? Sucralfate then again at 12 and again at 6. And then there will be oral meds at 3 in the middle of the day there. Okay, so everything's scheduled out for you. The same for Sunday. Basically, the schedule is exactly the same. Again, the only difference is for these last 2 feedings, you may have to feed only the Ensure rather than the mixture because there may not be enough. Okay? Biggest thing, like I said, is letting the food come to room temperature. No cold food through the tube. There's several, so in this bag is all of his oral medication. There's several syringes that have needles to flushing the IV catheter. Again, there's several syringes that have the smaller top that are for water that go in the clear port. And then there's several syringes that have a bigger cap that are for food that go in the blue port, okay? E-collar needs to stay on when you're not directly supervising him so that he doesn't rub at the tube. If for some reason something happens, there is right here at the tube, right where it goes into his nose, there's a pretty big Sharpie mark right under that tape there. So that's the way you'll know if it starts to come out. If you can see that Sharpie mark, then it's too far out and we need to push it back in. I'm gonna write down my cell phone number. I'm not in town, but I can answer text messages and phone calls. Dr. Scarpinato is here until noon tomorrow if there's a problem. And then ultimately the emergency clinic is available too if you need something for them. And then the goal will be to come back on Monday and see how he's going. If he vomits, if he regurgitates anything, stop the feedings and call me. And then we'll decide what to do from there. Okay? All right.